Imagine this. You are deep in the Great Smoky Mountains. It is a beautiful June afternoon in 1969. You are with your family, and your 6-year-old son, Dennis Martin, is playing a game of hide and seek. He runs behind a bush just a few yards away, planning to jump out and surprise you. You are watching that spot, waiting for the laugh, waiting for the joy, but the laugh never comes. You walk over to that bush, and he is just not there. You call his name, but there is only silence. Not just the silence of a boy hiding, but a heavy, unnatural silence that seems to have swallowed the very sound of the birds. Within minutes, a massive search is launched, eventually becoming the largest in the history of the National Park Service. We are talking about 1,400 people, including Green Berets and FBI agents scouring every inch. And yet, they find nothing. No footprint, no piece of clothing, and absolutely no scent for the bloodhounds to follow. And then, like clockwork, the sky opens up. A torrential downpour, a monsoon by local accounts, washes away any trace that might have ever existed. Dennis Martin did not just wander off. He vanished into a vacuum, and when the investigators started asking the hard questions, the iron curtain of the federal government came slamming down. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am David Paulides, and today we are looking at the facts they do not want you to see. The facts that remain hidden behind a wall of bureaucracy. For those of you new to the channel, I spent 20 years in law enforcement. I am an investigative researcher, and I have spent the last decade documenting a very specific, very disturbing pattern of disappearances on our public lands. I call it Missing 411. I am not here to give you bedtime stories or campfire myths. I am here to state the facts, exactly as they are. These are cases that defy conventional logic. They happen in clusters. They involve high-altitude locations, granite rocks, and nearby water. And there is a common thread that connects every single one of them. A total and complete lack of transparency from the National Park Service. They know something is happening out there, but they are not sharing that information with you or your family. The central issue here is the battle for information. I have filed countless FOIA requests, trying to get a simple list of the missing, and time again, I am told the same thing. We do not keep a list. Think about that for a second. The Park Service can tell you how many bags of trash they collected last year, but they claim they have no database for the humans who vanish. Why is that? Because the truth is uncomfortable. The truth suggests that there is something in our woods that we do not understand. And the authorities are either powerless to stop it, or they are actively covering it up. Or perhaps both. Let us look at a case out of Colorado. October 1999. Comanche, Peak Wilderness. This is the story of 3-year-old Jaryd Atadero. Jaryd was on a group hike with several adults. He was a vibrant, energetic kid. At one point, he ran ahead just to talk to some fishermen. He was right there on the trail. 1 minute he was visible, and the next, poof, he was gone. Look at the profile points here. Jaryd disappeared at a high elevation. The search was immediate. Yet, the dogs could not find a thing. Professional tracking dogs could not even pick up a scent of interest. This happens in case after case. almost as if the person was lifted straight off the ground by something unseen. 4 years later, 2 hikers finally found Jaryd's remains. But here is where it gets chilling. His clothing was found 550 feet above the trail on a steep, technical rock face. His pants were turned inside out. His shoes were in pristine condition. I have talked to the experts. A 3-year-old cannot climb that vertical face. An animal, like a mountain lion or a bear, does not leave clothes neatly turned inside out, and shoes looking like they just came out of the box. No, something else happened to that little boy. When I asked the Park Service for the full investigative file, the resistance was off the charts. They did not want the missing 411 connection made. They wanted this filed away as a tragic accident and forgotten. But accidents follow the laws of physics. This case does not, and the government knows it. They just do not want you to know it. This is not just an American problem. It is global. Let us head to Australia. Specifically, the rugged bushland. We have cases of experienced hikers, people who know the terrain like the back of their hand, who step off a trail for 30 seconds and are never seen again. One consistent report from the survivors is what I call the silence, the eerie quiet. They describe a moment where the forest goes absolutely dead. No wind, no insects, no birds. It is like being in a sensory deprivation tank in the middle of the wilderness. They feel a sense of overwhelming dread. And then they experience spatial disorientation. They think they are walking toward the road, but they are actually walking miles into the deep. Dark brush. In one specific case, a man was found days later, miles from his last known point. He was at the top of a mountain he should not have been able to summit. He was missing his shoes. He could not remember how he got there. When authorities were questioned about the strange location, the reports were simplified. They do not want you to know the bush can reach out and take you. So, why the cover-up? Why the lies? I have been told by insiders that the NPS is terrified of the liability. If they admit there is a pattern, a missing 411 pattern, they admit the parks are not safe for your children. But it goes deeper. When I filed a FOIA for Yosemite, they told me it would cost over $30,000 to produce. $30,000. They are weaponizing the bureaucracy to keep independent researchers like me away from the data. I am stating the facts. People disappear in clusters. Dogs cannot track them. Weather arrives immediately after they vanish, and they are often found in areas already searched. If you overlay these disappearances with a map of underground cave systems, the correlation is almost 1-to-1. Now, I want to move into something a bit more disturbing. Some of you have sent me accounts of something they have seen in the woods. They do not see a monster. They do not see a person. They see a shimmer. Think of the movie Predator. Witnesses describe a translucent bending of the light effect moving through the trees, almost like a living heat haze. These invisible entities or cloaked beings might explain why the dogs cannot track a scent. How do you track something that is not fully in our physical dimension? It explains the silence. A high-frequency disruption that shuts down the natural environment. I am not saying this is definitely what is happening. But I am saying we must look at the evidence. If a child is found 12 miles away over 2 mountain ranges, in 12 hours. How did they get there? They did not walk. They were taken. And if the taker cannot be seen, the Park Service has the perfect excuse to say they do not know what happened. But they do know something is happening. The sheer volume of redacted pages proves it. The battle for information is far from over. I will continue to push. I will continue to file the paperwork. And I will continue to tell the stories of the families who have been left in the dark by their own government. Before you go into the woods, do your research. Don't go alone. Carry a personal locator beacon and keep your eyes open. If the woods go silent, if the birds stop singing and the air feels heavy, do not wait around to find out why. You need to run. And you need to run fast. I am David Paulides. And I will keep searching for the truth, no matter how hard they try to hide it. Stay safe out there, and goodbye for now.